And Prince Harry is said to be devastated after resigning from a charity he co-founded that has ties to his mother, Princess Diana. For more on this, let's bring in royal expert Patricia Treble. Now, Patricia, can you explain the reason behind Harry's resigning and how important this was to him?
Prince Harry is reportedly fuming after the UK government shot down his bold request for a $20 million taxpayer-backed loan. He had hoped to use the funds for a charity project honoring his late mother, Princess Diana, framing it as a global humanitarian legacy in her name. But instead of embracing the idea, top officials publicly rejected it, raising concerns about the project's transparency, financial responsibility, and even questioning Harry's own credibility.
This all centers on a charity called Centability. He founded it when he was 22 years old. The focus is helping people with HIV/AIDS in Southern Africa. And of course, HIV/AIDS is a cause that his mother...
The rejection has stirred up embarrassment, anger, and shock in Harry's circle, laying bare just how wide the rift has grown between him and the British establishment. This wasn't just about money, it was a harsh wake-up call that Prince Harry is no longer seen as a trusted son of the nation. Here's how it all unfolded. Harry's proposal was for a hefty $20 million, or £15.5 million. Interest-free loan from the UK government to fund a mental health and youth leadership program he called a living legacy to Princess Diana. On the surface, it sounded noble, but the big catch? The loan didn't have backing from any reputable UK institution.
Really is a struggle for internal control for the direction of the charity, and Harry and the trustees who resigned felt that they didn't have, it was against them and that the chairwoman.
There were no cross-party endorsements, no official UK charity status, just a paper stamped with the name of the Arkawell Foundation, Harry's US-based organization that's already under scrutiny for its finances. Insiders at Westminster said the proposal was full of vague promises and missing the basics, clear plans, proper oversight, or even a working board of trustees in the UK. To make matters worse, Harry wanted the loan to be interest-free, pitching it as an investment in Britain's soft power. But to critics, it looked more like a money grab dressed up in royal sentiment.
It to be a mess because the chairwoman is making allegations of her own. She's claiming bullying, misogyny, abuse of power, and this is all now landed in the courts. So I think we're going to be finding out more beyond these general statements of disappointment.
Reports from the Times and the Telegraph say senior Whitehall officials shot down the idea right away. One insider even called it a reputational risk, not just for Harry, but for the monarchy itself. Think about that. Another official reportedly scoffed, "This isn't a nostalgia fund for ex-royals trying to polish their image with their mother's name." That single remark sums up just how little patience Britain's establishment has left for Harry. The optics were terrible. Self-exiled, non-resident prince asking taxpayers to bankroll his private charity project, all while still taking shots at the very institutions he was begging help from. In the end, the UK government didn't see a royal legacy. They saw a shaky business pitch from a prince-turned influencer trying to stay relevant.
You didn't believe she was dead?
For a long time. I just refused to accept that she was gone. Part of, she would never do this to us, but also part of, maybe this is all part of a plan.
I mean, you really believe that maybe she had just...
One of the most striking parts of this whole story is how Harry keeps leaning on Princess Diana's legacy. Whether it's Netflix shows or Oprah interviews, he and Meghan have often brought up Diana's name and heartbreak to stir sympathy or grab headlines, but this time the public didn't fall for it. British MP Simon Clarke didn't mince words, saying her legacy shouldn't be used to prop up a private American charity.
But also part of, maybe this is all part of a plan.
I mean, you really believe that maybe she had just decided to disappear for a time?
For a time, and then that she would call us and we would go and join her.
How long did you believe that?
Years. Many, many years. And William and I talked about it as well.
With unclear goals, the plan drew even more heat. Social commentators called it morally hollow and emotionally manipulative. Critics argued that instead of truly honoring Diana's memory through real charitable work, Harry has turned her into A convenient brand, brought up whenever he needs money, attention, or a clean slate? Another big reason his request fell flat? Prince Harry now has no official standing in the UK at all.
That she's going to reappear.
Yeah, hope. I had huge amounts of hope.
He held on to that hope into adulthood. When Harry was 20, he asked to see the police report about the crash that killed his mother, her boyfriend Dodi Al-Fayed, and their driver Henri Paul while they were being pursued.
He's no longer a working royal. There's no official UK charity tied to Archewell, no elected position, no British taxes paid, and perhaps most crucial of all, no legal ties to Parliament or the Charity Commission. Simply put, he's just a private American living in a lavish Montecchio mansion, now turning to British taxpayers for money.
Paint photographs of the crash scene. Why did you want to see it?
Mainly proof that she was in the car, proof that she was injured, and proof that the very paparazzi that chased her into the tunnel were the ones that were taking photographs of her lying half dead on the backseat of the car.
You write, I hadn't been aware before this moment.
Without even the minimum oversight in place, civil servants going through the proposal quickly spotted glaring accountability holes and raised legal alarms about funneling public money into a foreign foundation with zero UK governance, to be blunt. It was dead on arrival from a constitutional standpoint. As word of the rejection spread, people across the UK reacted instantly and without mercy. Social media lit up with savage hashtags like Hustling Harry, Diana $4, and Royal Freeloader. On Good Morning Britain, Andrew Pierce didn't hold back, calling it nothing more than a celebrity vanity project pretending to be philanthropy, saying if Harry truly wants to honor his mother, he should pay for it himself. He's got that Netflix. Cash, after all, for many Brits, this wasn't just a poorly thought out idea, it was another sign of how out of touch Harry has become. Here's a man who spent the past 4 years ripping into the monarchy, trashing his own family's reputation, and cashing in on personal grudges, only to come back not with regret, but with his hand out for money. And the worst part, he seemed to think the country would just smile and hand it over. We'll dive into the troubling financial signals inside Archewell, the cold shoulder from Prince William and King Charles, and the quiet rumors that Meghan Markle might have been the real architect of this planned stay with us, because Harry's downfall is unraveling faster than anyone expected. While Harry tried to spin the loan as some daring act of charity, financial watchdogs weren't buying it. The UK government dug into Archewell's tax filings, and what they uncovered sparked even more doubt. The latest records showed Archewell spending more on high-priced salaries, consultants, and glossy PR than on true charitable work. Of the millions raised, less than 30% went to hands-on help, and several so-called partner initiatives were either inactive, short-lived, or had no clear direction. Deliverables. One civil service analyst put it bluntly to The Guardian: "You don't fund a charity that looks more like a celebrity lifestyle brand than a real philanthropic group." Critics also couldn't ignore the $200,000 plus paid to Meghan Markle's personal PR firm expenses that sat awkwardly next to Harry's plea for British taxpayer cash. If Archewell can't prove its own spending is accountable, why should the UK pick up the tab? This didn't feel like charity. It felt dangerously close to scrubbing reputations. As the proposal circulated through official channels, both King Charles and Prince William were reportedly informed, and neither lifted a finger. Palace insiders told the Daily Mail that King Charles was made aware, not asked. In other words, he knew and chose silence, which said plenty. Prince William was even colder, while he continues to back the Diana Award, a respected UK charity helping young leaders. He apparently saw Harry's plan as unregulated and self-serving. A senior royal aide summed it up best: there was no support, no endorsement, no encouragement. That says it all. Once upon a time, any project honoring Diana would have brought the brothers together. Now Harry can't even get a signature, let alone a pound. Let's talk about the obvious question: was Meghan the force behind this loan? Insiders and royal watchers say absolutely. They claim she was eager to overhaul Archewell's image after a string of embarrassments, from Spotify dropping her podcast to Netflix quietly pulling back, and the widespread mockery of her new feminist cooking show pilot. This Diana idea was supposedly pitched as their big comeback, a way to give Archewell some serious weight again, but the optics were a disaster. A couple who ran from the UK for privacy, now chasing UK taxpayer money. A woman who never even met Princess Diana now indirectly cashing in on her name 2 Hollywood stars trying to sneak into British government funding, one senior UK official nailed it, saying it felt less like charity and more like a bailout wrapped in a royal bow maybe. The saddest part of this whole saga is Harry's total misread of the public mood. This is the same man who once moved millions through his army service, who started the Invictus Games to global cheers. Applause. He was once the people's prince, but after Megxit, his popularity in the UK has collapsed to 2025 YouGov poll shows. Harry's favorability now sits below 30% among British adults. Meghan's ratings are even worse. And most shocking of all, Princess Diana supporters are steadily turning against Harry for constantly using her memory in commercial or political ways, trying to pitch a multi-million-dollar Diana-themed project without any royal backing. Institutional support or real public appetite was always risky, but this was tone deaf, almost delusional. Instead of rebuilding trust, Harry's loan request only made every criticism of the past 5 years ring louder: that he's opportunistic, that he uses his royal status when it suits him, and that he's willing to treat his late mother's memory like collateral for personal ventures. This latest rejection isn't just some bureaucratic denial. It's a symbol, a turning point. Prince Harry has gone from a respected royal to a discredited figure begging for relevance and money. The UK government's refusal to fund his plan wasn't really about the money, it was about trust, and he's lost it. He's lost it with the government, he's lost it with his family, and more, he's lost it with the public. What was meant to be a tribute to Diana turned into a desperate attempt to rescue Archewell's brand, and it failed spectacularly. As one political commentator said, the only legacy Harry's building now is one of entitlement, manipulation, and wasted opportunity. The British public isn't just done funding him, they're done believing him.